Hi everyone, it's Sean here. I want everybody to know this is your last week to put in a pledge to get your copy of John Haynes at Death's Door. The Kickstarter will be ending on Saturday, August 6th. So if you want to pick up a copy of John Haynes at Death's Door in paper or digital format, click the link in the description box and put in your pledge for Kickstarter right now.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
A Brooklyn McDonald's worker was shot in the neck over cold French fries. Now, in this incident, a 23-year-old McDonald's worker who was working in a beverage Stuyvesant McDonald's was confronted by a female customer who was upset about the fact that the fries in her order were cold. Now, this female customer, as she was arguing with the worker at McDonald's, had her son on FaceTime. And this son, acting impulsively to defend his mother, stormed over to the McDonald's and got into a confrontation with the McDonald's worker, jumping over the counter, according to some alleged reports, knocking down stuff, and then getting into a fight with the worker at McDonald's. Now, both of these individuals wound up leaving the restaurant, and as the woman wound up leaving the restaurant, the mother, there was another confrontation between the worker and this 20-year-old son. And in this altercation, after a fist fight, the 20-year-old man pulled out a weapon and shot the McDonald's worker in the neck. Now, the police are seeing this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the actions of both the McDonald's worker and the man who allegedly participated in the shooting, it fits right in line with the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And it's clear to me that the son who was out here participating in the shooting participated in behavior similar to that of the Pookie who wound up getting sent to the Shadow Realm by Jose Alba, the bodega worker, a couple of weeks ago. And this behavior was where this male didn't do any sort of critical thinking regarding his own health, safety, and his freedom. No, he acted impulsively to go out here and defend his mother regarding a situation where she did not need any defending at all. This male decided to run out here impulsively to attack this McDonald's worker without ever thinking critically about his own health, safety, and freedom. And he went out here to defend his mother over something as trivial as an order of French fries from McDonald's. Now, I myself have placed many orders at fast food restaurants like McDonald's, and sometimes I don't get fries that are at optimal temperature. Sometimes in these fast food restaurants, they are preparing these orders very quickly, and when you're doing online orders and you're doing a lot of them, food is not going to be at an optimal temperature. That is something that I accept when it comes down to going to a fast food place. And if food is not up to my standard, what I do is I will make a request for them to change something out, like this woman tried to do, but in a more diplomatic way. And if they don't want to change it, then I just don't shop at that restaurant anymore. And if the food is not up to my standard, I will go have a dispute with my ATM card or whatever credit card I used and complain that I did not get product that was up to my standard. Unfortunately, this mother was not thinking critically about the situation, nor was she thinking critically about the danger she was putting her son in. A lot of these females, they are emotional, and when they get in their emotions about being denied something, like the female who got denied her EBT card got declined and her that bag of chips got snatched from her, she decided to act impulsively to send the Pookie to the bodega in the case of Jose Alba, and that led to that Pookie being sent to the Shadow Realm. And this is the type of dysfunctional thinking some females have whenever they get into a jam. What they expect somebody to do is go out here and defend them. And this is a very dangerous thing for any black woman to do with her son. You would think that a black mother who truly cared about her son, the first thing she's going to do is protect her son by saying, son, we're not going to go out here and fight over something like French fries. If this mother truly cared about her son, she would not have him fighting over some French fries. No, she's going to say, that's going to look bad for us optically, and it's just not worth our time to be fighting over something trivial as French fries. If this order isn't up to my standard as related to fast food, then I'm just going to either cancel the order or I'm just going to dispute it with whatever credit card I have. I'm not going to send my son out here to go out here and fight people. No, a woman of character is not going to have her son out here fighting some dude over some fast food that's going to be in the toilet in 8 hours. Because a woman who, again, mother who truly cares about her son, isn't going to have him out here making her look bad, because when your son is out here fighting over fast food workers over French fries, that says that you didn't do a good job of raising that boy. Because a mother of character, she's going to protect her son, and she's going to protect her son's image by telling him that he's not going to stoop to that level by going out here and fighting over some cold French fries that don't even matter at the end of the day. But a mother who is a narcissist, she will go out here and say things to the son to enable him, to encourage him to go out here and fight some other guy over some French fries that are going to be either in the garbage or the toilet in 8 hours. And she's doing this because she wants to, one, sate her ego, and two, she wants attention for herself. And that's what happened here. This mother allowed this incident to escalate. She allowed this incident to go on. And I'd have to say she basically instigated the incident, because at any time on FaceTime, she could have said, no, son, we ain't going out here to go fight over no French fries. And she could have also said, when the boy came to the restaurant, no, we're not going over here to be fighting over some fast food. No, if a woman truly cares about her son and wants to protect her son, she's going to go out here and look to protect her son and protect him from this type of incident. But this beta male, he didn't understand what was going on here, and sadly he fell for the crap test that was going on, and he went and got into this situation because he did not have anybody to teach him about how women operate, and because there was nobody there to teach him how women operated, what happened here was this male wound up going into this incident looking to pick a fight with a fast food worker over some French fries. And again, that just shows how dysfunctional this boy was raised, because only a beta male is going to go fight another man over something as trivial as an order of French fries and look to go out here and fight just to defend the honor of a woman who was proven to be dishonorable because she was the one who sent you, who had you going on this wild goose chase without ever talking to you and trying to tell you, no, son, this is just not what we do. Now, on the flip side of this whole French fries situation was this other worker at McDonald's, and I'd have to say he was a beta male as well, because he's the one arguing with this woman instead of going to go get his manager. Now, any critical thinking worker in a situation where you've got a customer who is irate, the first thing they're going to do is go out here and find their manager and try to solve the problem. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with beta males, they don't know how to problem solve, and instead of them trying to work out a solution to the problem, they go out here and escalate the situation by going and arguing back and forth with an irate customer. And this is how your beta male goes out here and tries to solve problems, because he's going to try to solve it himself without ever going to an authority figure and working out a situation where they can find a constructive solution to the problem. Now, any smart person who has worked in fast food, retail, or customer service, the first thing they're going to do when they run into this kind of customer is they're going to say, okay, I'm sorry that the fries don't meet your standard. Let me go get you a fresh, brand new batch, and then they're going to call it a day once they've given you a fresh, brand new batch of French fries, and they're going to put a period at the end of things. They'd be willing to take the loss on that package of French fries that you have in your box, in your order, because they just say it's just better for me to just give you this French fries that only cost us a couple of cents there, rather than have you participate in behavior that damages the reputation of the restaurant. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there was any manager there to solve the problem here, and the problem wound up escalating, and that just shows what happens when you have weak leadership. People don't know how to solve a problem as related to things, and it escalates into situations like this. And the reason why, again, it escalated into this situation is because you have a beta male working at the fast food counter. Yes, he has a job, but sadly, he doesn't have the male life skills and survival skills to know how to navigate a situation as related to critical thinking and problem solving, because you have a worker here. He was just going back and forth with this woman, when the smart thing to do would be to say, okay, I'm sorry that this order isn't up to your standard. Let me go get my manager, and let us go out here and give you exactly what you want and send you on your way. It's just like that whole situation with that NFL player and that guy at United Airlines. You have another beta who didn't know how to problem solve and was just out here not knowing how to do things and wanted to escalate things, instead of just saying, okay, I see this, let me process this customer and keep it moving. And in this case, we get another situation where she's going back and forth with this guy, when a logical thinking man is just going to say, okay, it's an order of French fries, we throw them in the garbage, and yeah, it's throwing away food, but the whole thing is, I'm not going to throw away my reputation and the store's reputation. It's about a principle of character, and we're going to take a high level of character that meets the McDonald's reputation as related to things. Unfortunately, this worker wasn't thinking critically. He got into it with this 20-year-old beta male, and this 20-year-old beta male, after getting into a physical altercation, then went and got his 9mm of courage as this incident was escalating, and he went out here, got his 9mm of courage, went out here and then shot this worker who was just out here looking to make a living, but now is fighting for his life because this beta male on the other side, he didn't know how to go out here and put a period at the end of things. And because he couldn't put the period at the end of things, he got in his feelings, and as he got emotional about getting into a fight with this guy, he was going to go out here and protect his mama, and in protecting his mama, he wound up putting himself in jeopardy because now he's been arrested and charged with attempted murder. A female that was with him has been charged as an accomplice, and this dude has practically thrown away his freedom, his health, and his safety all over some McDonald's french fries that are gonna be in the toilet in 8 hours. So he has gone from being someone who was 20 years old and free and eating McDonald's to somebody who is sitting in Rikers Island right now and is going to be possibly sitting in prison for years. And instead of him being upset over cold french fries, he's going to be very upset when he gets into that whole jail and prison system. And I have to ask the critical question, is he going to fight Bubba and Tiny over those Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, or cans of Dr. Pepper, or six-pack Oreo cookies, or Fritos chips that he receives in jail as commissary? And will he complain when Bubba offers him some ramen noodles and those hot and sour ramen noodles are cold? Because when you get inside of a place like the penitentiary, you don't have many options as related to food. And because you don't have many options as related to food, you're in the penitentiary and you have to take whatever you can get. And the whole thing is, he could have had more had he just thought critically and said, no, I'm not going to go out here and argue with this dude over some french fries. No, I'm going to try to defuse the situation with my mother by saying, no, Ma, we ain't going to fight over no french fries. We ain't going to fight over no food. No, if it's that bad, we're just going to take a L on this. And if you paid for this with your credit card, we're going to deal with this with the credit card company. And we're just going to put a period at the end of it and move on and not shop at that McDonald's ever again. And then also go out here and contact corporate and let them know what went on. There was an easy way to solve this problem as related to these cold french fries. And sadly, because of the dysfunctional way this 20-year-old boy was raised, possibly by his single mother, there was no resolution to this situation, and instead a problem got so bad that a 23-year-old worker wound up with his life on the line. And again, that's all due to the dysfunctional way beta males are raised, because when you raise a beta male acts on his feelings impulsively, never thinking critically about the consequences of his actions. All this beta male at the McDonald's knew was that his mama was in an altercation verbally with a little young dude, and all he did was act on impulse, rushing over to that restaurant because he's going to defend his mama. And he's basically showing us all that he has no sense of what it means to be a man, and he showed us that he was a man in crisis. And on the flip side, we have the 23-year-old McDonald's worker who showed us that he was a man in crisis as well, because instead of him going to go get a manager, he escalates a situation into a violent altercation. Now, I know these fast food jobs are hard. I know these fast food jobs are rough, but as somebody who has worked the circulation desk at a library, I know that sometimes you've got to disengage from the customer and find a way to solve their problem, because once it starts to get personal, people are going to start getting crazy, and what you want to do is diffuse the situation. You can't get into it with loud, argumentative customers. You have to let a manager deal with these individuals and let them solve the problem. You have to step aside and not get into it with them, because that's exactly what some of these Karens and other types want to do. And they want to egg things on because sometimes they want to crap test the men in their lives, one. Two, they want to go out here and cause a scene because they want attention. But you have to make it where you can get through the next day on that job and get through that day. And if it means giving somebody a brand new batch of french fries to get them out of your space, sometimes you got to give them that batch of french fries that may cost you a few cents on the dollar in order to preserve the integrity of your establishment and keep your workers safe. Unfortunately, there were no cool heads here to diffuse the situation, and sadly now a 23-year-old man is fighting for his life because we had two males who did not know how to solve a problem like men. And what's sad here is that this is the second incident in less than a couple of weeks of a beta male going out here acting on impulse to defend a female here in New York City, and that incident led to somebody's life being put in jeopardy because neither of these men in both situations, whether it be the Pookie who was sent to the Shadow Realm by Jose Alba at that Harlem grocery, or the McDonald's worker here in Brooklyn, neither one of these men had the male life skills or male survival skills to understand how to navigate through a situation like this or how to problem solve as related to dealing with this kind of situation. Sadly, because there were no men in their lives to teach them problem solving skills and critical thinking skills, or to teach them the value of their own personal health, safety, and freedom, we had two incidents where simp beta males went out here looking to defend dishonorable women and wound up losing at the end of the day as a result of their dysfunctional behavior. We have to start raising boys in a different way, and we have to start raising boys to understand about conflict resolution because these two males were not taught conflict resolution. One is in the hospital fighting for his life. The other one is fighting for his booty with Bubba and Tiny. And his mama is back out here another day looking for two more males to go out here and fight over her. And this is something many black men have to learn how to deal with these situations by saying, okay, you getting into it with this dude at this restaurant, you need to disengage and leave this alone. Don't worry about the money. And if she continues to engage, whatever happens to her, happens to her. But you have to look out for your freedom in these kind of situations and say, look, I'm not going to be fighting no dude over some foolishness. I'm going to protect my own health, safety, and freedom, because if these females won't look out for me, I got to look out for myself. But a true to the game woman would never put her son in that kind of situation. No, a true to the game woman is going to say, no, we're not going to fight over no french fries that's going to be in the toilet. We're going to go out here, we're going to walk out with dignity, and we're going to solve this problem at this restaurant by not shopping here again. But this whole incident just shows us how the man crisis is getting worse in this country. And we're seeing, an increase in frequency in these kinds of incidents. And the reason why we're seeing an increase in the frequency in these kinds of incidents is because we have a growing population of beta males. And with us having over 100 million beta males from 3 different generations, we have a serious problem with males not knowing how to function in this country. And what's happening is, due to the lockdowns, we've seen these males who were ticking time bombs turn into landmines, and these males are exploding and participating in a spectrum of violent behaviors, and these males are getting more and more extreme with their behavior. We have not ever seen males act like this in any time in history, but the reason why we're seeing them act like this now, again, has to do with the dysfunctional way females have raised boys, and this behavior is a textbook example of what happens when a female raises a boy to become a man. He winds up becoming a man in crisis, and he winds up becoming a man who winds up doing harm to society because he doesn't know how to function in the world. Now, if you want to learn more about how boys grow up to become dysfunctional like this, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis on other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Walmart. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.